some fun. Okay. Shut up and play, Dr. Groovy. Okay, so there you go. That's some Garth Brooks, or the way I used to play it back in the day when people cared to hear it. Now he's back on the scene and I'm retarded. I'm retired. Okay, so the dance. Garth Brooks. On the record there is a very, very small part of the song that comes right back in after the last vocal. It goes for 12 bars. 3 times around with the, let's just put it down here where I'm going to be. Oh yeah, I want to thank my buddy and his mom again for giving me this PV Falcon a long time ago. It's about the only thing I have left that has a whammy bar with any kind of locking thing, and it's just beautiful axe. How can you not like the great old PV stuff? And stuff that like stays in tune. Anyway, so at the end of the song, get rid of this guy. Then he says dance, and the piano comes in. There's that A. There. So A, C, D. Back to E minor. Let me see if I can't look on here and see where my tuning is. It's not bad for as much as I've been yanking it. Did he say that? Of course he did. He's Dr. Groovy. There's nothing really out. It's probably just this chord sitting on top of my whammy bar. That could do it. Anyway. That could always do it, man. You set your whammy bar on there and it kind of makes the whole thing warbly-eyed. But anyway, it does that 3 whole times with the piano. And there's a little bit of lead guitar in the background. And it actually goes like this. Let's say this is the piano, because there's no drums that come back in, no anything that comes in. But I always used to like to do this, like super late 80s, pre-Cobain heavy metal band, just gothic hair metal anthem, slow stuff, you know. But say this is a piano. It was like... And you hear... One more time and the record fades out. That's during... And that's all you hear. I mean, it's something just like that weak. So it sounds like a little telly playing through, yeah, the Walmart amp. And... which is better than the Fender, as we all know after 10 years of this. But I would do it like I did it before, a minute ago, but it had the big drums, the big bass, you know, keyboards going, and we'd trade licks, and, you know, just whammy bars, and of course the boner tone I was just using too, and wah-wahs, and anything that could find, even talk boxes if there was one on stage, if I had one to suck on or spit on or whatever. Okay, so why are we here? To learn those, of course. So the licks that are on the beginning of it, right at the beginning of the solo, I'm going to actually show them to you clean, and then we'll put the hair on them in a little bit. Okay, so here we go, kids. So on the album, when it finally comes into So again, E minor will be the piano. There's nothing else going on. C, D, 4, back to regular D, back to E minor. Then 2 more full times around. There was generally just somebody tapping away on bells, on the cymbals, little bass guitar stuff doing. You know, stuff like that. But then on the 4th bar beginning of it, you know, you'd have those big Phil Collins, you know, sounding things. I remember. That's the only time we all turn our radio up on Phil Collins nowadays, isn't it? Great stuff, though. Anyway, so over those chords, the 3 bars that you get are this. Okay, again, over the E minor, you get... And it's exactly right. These first 3 bars are exactly right. Everything else, I'm just going to give you some stuff to play with, okay? So these are over the E minor. We're going to go up to the B string, up to the 7th fret. I put a finger back here on the 5th just to have there. It helps with bending and control. So you hit that B string on the 7th fret, and we're only bending it half a step. Okay, so... Okay, so it does it exactly that amount of times. So you get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you got 7 times before it matches to the next key, to C. Okay, so 2, 3, 4. C. Because there's your C. So that's your G string, 7th fret, bending up a whole step. When you release it down to the 7th fret, that is D. Then we have the main lick that is repeated all 3 times, and the 3 times that are actually on the record. Okay, so that's the first time we do that one. Then we do it in a different octave twice. But this one is going to the E minor when we get back to it. So that's 7 on the D, bend it down towards the floor a whole step, so going back to 5, and then 7 on the A string. So you got, again, you see me using multiple fingers when it's time to bend towards the floor, and when you're using, I think 10s or 11s are on this still. I'm sure that my buddy who gave me this will let me know what's on it, because I have not taken the strings off of it. I just cleaned it up a bunch. Okay, so that's the lick. So you end up with this coming up. 2, 3, 4. Again, 2, 3, 4. Bend that all the way up. Okay, so that's the way that whole first part goes. There's only 2 more sections. Everything else is just over E minor. And it's just a matter of how much of these little licks you want me, or want to learn in this whole little bit of time we got left. I'm just going to do a 20-minute total video, even with the jamming at the beginning. So we'll just get a few different licks. Okay, the second time around, it just goes during the E minor. It goes all the way up to the B string at the 15th fret. And I put this here back at the 12th fret. But with your ring finger, 15th fret B string, just going to bend it up a whole step so it hits that E note. Okay, so it does it for the E minor. 2, 3, 4. Now the C, because there's an E in there. Now we get ready to go to D. D, D. Back to the E minor. D, E minor. Wait, oh, E minor hits right there on that E note, which is 14 on the G. Again, fingers behind here. 14. Up, whole step. We're going up in the air this time. Back to 14. Just release the bend. Release the bends! Pull off to the 12th fret and then finally end up on the E note, which is the 14th fret of the D string. Okay, so again you got E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. And then D, 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 E minor, and da, 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 da. Okay, so that part is. Okay, this is just doing it again. Okay, so the last part, or the last bar, will be where it actually fades out, and this will be the entire thing that's on the actual record. Nowhere that I know of, unless there's a live version, is there a, metal ending on this thing like I was kind of doing, or whatever that was, lounge music. Last one actually has that going on because we're in E minor. Okay, so you're going, I like to keep again finger behind here at the 12th, high E string going to the 15. Now I'm switching them both. Okay, going to the B string 15, bending up again all the way up the whole step. So you got, so, and then everything else is exactly like the first or the second round of licks, the one we just did. So you got 2, 3, 4, doing the C, and it's gone by then. But you do hear that finally again. So the only new thing you've learned for the third part is then everything is like the one before. So you get 2, 3, 4, and okay, and then the entire thing's done. Okay, so I'm going to play it clean one time all the way through, and I'll let it play for you so you can go along with it. Then I might add a couple things to show you, but it's just jamming in E minor. Okay, so I'm going to do it here. So here we go, and 2, 3, 4. So that should get you the part that's actually on the record. Okay, so I kind of looked at the old clock here, and I looked at the licks and my brain as I was playing rhythm there, and I figured, what the hell, we'll go ahead and put another section in here, and I'll put them together and do that. Why not? We could all use a couple new licks. So, hey, let me make a separate file here and hook them together for you. You guys wait just a second, and be back and learn some of those weird little licks going on. Alright? Alright, catch you in 2 and 2. Okay, so now it's time to do the same part we were just doing, but we're going to add some major balls to it. Okay? So that means whatever distortion you have, let's say, I'm just going to use, again, my boner tone, which is just amazing. Again, it's just something I put together on my Johnson JM50 modeling amp a long time ago. It's made by Digitech. You can get the same sounds out of the little cheap J stations as well. I wish Digitech would write me and say, hey, send us that patch in an email and we'll just put out the pedal. The boner tone, you just hit it and all 3 of these effects work, which are just this particular distortion, which sounds cool. A great reverb that's EQ'd out the butt on the reverb itself is EQ'd differently than the original signal, which is what gives it this ominous sound. And then just a typical like 4 repeat delay thing, which ends up being or like one of those, don't worry about it. I didn't. 90% of the time I just bent my guitar neck. Okay, so have fun with that and don't hurt yourself. So with the stuff in there, the dirt, I'm going to play it again exactly like we just did before. So here it comes. 2, 3, 4. compressor also added, forgot to tell you. So those are the kind of things, and even the little Journey Neil Sean thing. So you could tell a slight bit of difference with the phrasing when I was using distortion as compared to what's really on the record that I taught you in the first part of this. But that's just because we're getting ready to go somewhere with it, but I still try to restrain myself so it still has somewhere to go. And then at the very end of the song, you know, then everybody dun, 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 big crash, you know, ending, and I like to just kind of like I did when I did it. You know, but everybody's still trying to rumble the heck out of those 5-inch woofers on the subs. Okay, as far as very easy type of things like this that are not overbearing, so that the country people can still understand it, and so that it doesn't seem metal, you could probably get away with some metal stuff in here these days, the way country is now, because this song's like 25 flipping years old. But for you guys who need some licks, let me get rid of the whole distortion thing and do this. The E minor thing that I basically work out of is, I see it visually kind of like the Mark Knopfler Sultans of Swing thing, but I look at it like out of this E minor, up here at the 7th fret, 7, 9, 9, 8, 7. I know it's supposed to be in a different key, but that's what I look for out of here. Yes. Then back into a basic box. Okay, so of this, you can look at it and get the okay, so this is what I would work out of. So on the G, 9, 8 on the B, 7 on the E. Then go all the way up to the 10 on the E. Hammer on, pull off, back to the 7, 8, 9. And after that, I basically would go, these are just ideas. And that's all they are, that's all you need. And when you're doing these bends and stuff, remember, while you're in E, you are actually in E minor. So if you're going to go, that's your minor note, there is no major, so. So your 1, your 2, your flatted third. And that dominant 7th back 2 fret, so your D is going to be your friend too. Now what's great is you have 2 options over this whole pattern, and that is to keep playing in E minor through the entire thing, because you can. You'll notice in the stuff I already taught you that it does drop down and very definitively make sure you hear that D note when it does go to D, but you don't always have to, because you could be still in the middle of this whole scale through the entire thing. And the scale is just blues and minor pentatonic thing, so it's very elementary, my dear Watson. Okay, again, so you got any of that you want to use. Again, the box is just from the point of view of you folks who haven't learned from me yet, or not very much, or not at all. Is a great one. That's E, which is 9 on the G string. Pull off to 7. 9 on the D, back to 7 on the G. All on the D, I'm sorry about that. So then 9, 7, 5. So pull off, slide, now finally 7. On the A will give you your E, and then you got this E here too. Which is kind of cool if you have the whammy thing, or not. Or you could do the E. I know everybody's out there, I know that song, what is it? Oh yeah, God of Thunder. Of course, that's kind of like playing Smoke on the Water when you were 12 with one string. Playing that way. But whatever it takes. So those are a couple of the E minor things. But remember again, when you go to the C, you can play all the E minor stuff you want. Let's check it out. I'll just play the backing track. No limit to it, but that's the whole box, and that's just one of them. And of course, anything you bend, just remember that there's those chords underneath there. You don't have to stay there. So when you bend, don't bend on this E. I like to approach it from behind. Go back to this D again. Hold me some energy here. So that gets you a step and a half. 3 frets, so yeah, keep that in your head if you have to. Oh. There we go, somewhere like that. What was that? I want a new drug. Okay, I need new drugs. To remember that you are an E minor. So when you go to make that big bend, bend it more than a whole step. Because you bring it up here. Then you go to C. You can either do it that way or come back down to E, which the E is just perfect for anything in C. But when you do break away from that E minor, weird, you don't hear that anywhere in the song, so it catches people off guard, which is cool. Get out of the minor frame and go to the C. Then you got D. So in that case, I would actually go up here to, like I was doing, like a, which you can play through the whole thing. That is just an actual E minor bar chord. I'm just leaving off the low E and the A string. So I'm doing 14 on the D, then barring across the G, B, E section. So I'm going hammer on, or pull off hammer on the D string. And I'm just hitting the G and the D string. I'm sorry, G and the B string. And that sounded like this with the phrasing going there. So that gets you both. So you got a little, you can play it all the way over to the top if you want, or through E minor. It's going to sound like a carnival ride if you do follow that though, because that's doing C. But if you're doing the bending thing, you're actually going up to C. Okay, because you're doing that bendy thing. Okay, so that's another cool one. On the same thing, for the E minor, I like to also go on the straight E minor thing again. 12, 14, 15 on the E string. Okay, so 12, 14, 15. Okay, so here's E minor. 2, 3, C. 2, 3. Okay, there's the D. Okay, so that's 15, 12, 15, bending it back up to 17 on the B. So, okay, and with the licks, with the backing track. How that kind of works, kind of cool. If you're bending up, back up to the E, you could put your pinky right here on this G note, so the 15th on the high E. That's actually your minor third. So when you go, you're actually playing 2 of the 3 notes out of the E minor. So that's cool. And so that's always a good one. That's a good time right after that to throw in your other normal key things and get out of your E minor. Is right in that same place. So if you do a D shape where your C is, so you're looking at G, B, E string, 12, 13, 12. Looks like a D chord. And same thing at 14, 15, 14, G, B, E. Because in the D, there is its D sus 4, which just means 1, 2, 3, 4. So you add your pinky 1 fret past where your middle finger is, so it goes up to from 14. Add the pinky to 15, just like down here. Okay, same thing. Do all that stuff you want. Turn it into a weird Boy George tune or something. Okay, but when we're up here at this top end, doing that lick I just showed you, coming back off that, if you're still staying right there in E minor, it's good to do so, because now you can play the licks in the C and the licks that are in D, so that it breaks up the fact that people think you only know how to play over E minor, no matter what other chords are switching around. So for example, again, I'm going to show you, and doing that bendy thing, but then I'll do the E minor again, but then when it goes to C, I'll follow it with that D-shaped C, and then the D-shaped D. And I'll actually accent the sus 4, suspended 4, add 4, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so here comes all that, and you can hear the difference to finally break out of the E minor mold. Okay, coming at you. there's a few more of those. So, there are so many more. I'm going to go ahead and make a third file, okay, over here. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back for round 3. Good lordy, I looked up here and the battery light was kind of showing up, saying I'm running out of brain cells. So that's what it's hooked up to. So I knew that, so I popped a few pills and we'll see how that works. But yeah, I had to plug in the power supply too. And I don't know if anybody's ever had this problem before, but I just could not find the hole for about a minute and a half. It has something. How old am I? 52. 52. Couple strokes and took out my prostate so that there could be no more groovy juice of any kind. I know, TMI. Not that there's just some and there's no babies made. I just have no juice left other than pee-pee. I know, TMI again. So watch that prostate shit. When they go give you that operation, they don't tell you till after it's over that you will never juice again in your life. Oh, okay. Garth Brooks and jizz. Hey, let's talk about that. Okay, so you heard me poorly play a little bit of Neil Sean in there. You probably didn't even realize it because it was so poorly played. But it would have been something like this. An octave. So even on a 22 fret guitar, I still have a problem reaching. Actually, this is cut quite different than a Strat. Yeah, make it the guitar's fault. Should have grabbed a 24 fret. Okay, so I'm going to show you that because it just kind of works, and I had to rearrange it just because it came up one day and I started playing that lick. It's like, what is that? So I kept playing and then it just kind of fit, and kinda, as you could just tell. So let's go ahead and learn that just so people out in the audience will kind of know what it was and kind of not, and then ask you later, what was that song? And then you tell them that it was God of Thunder. No. Faithfully or whatever the heck it is. I can't remember which one it is. They all sound the same. Okay, so that one is done this way. It is on the G and B string all the way through. So you have a finger up here, your pinky at the 15th fret covering the B and the E string. Why? Because we need to. We don't need to cover the E necessarily, but hey, it gets covered. Okay, so what we're going to do then is put a first finger at the 12 on the G and the ring finger at the 14 on the G. Okay, so every other note we're going to hit the B string. So it's going to go. And on the one note that you can't, that I go up there and I bend the B note, I pulled my note that's already there out of the way because I can't bend worth a crap with my pinky. I never use my pinky for anything with chords, except for chords. I never play lead. I've never utilized it. I play all my lead stuff with 2 fingers, the first and the middle. That's all I've ever done. So it's a hindrance, and it's just what I do or don't do. But that's how I taught myself how to play. I never hardly ever use my middle finger, and I never use my pinky playing lead. So probably why they call me Eric Clapton the 18th, because I'm way slower hand than all the others. But I never fell out of a building. Oh, he didn't. Sure he did. Okay, so 15. Okay, I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. Hey, the drug's kicking in. Okay, so we're going to do basically what looks like a G, but again, it's the Relative minor to the G is the E minor. Same stuff. You could play in G if you want to. So what we're going to do is basically play in G. So we're going to, again, 15 and 15 here. You're never going to hit the E unless you want to, because that's the minor, third. Okay, so we're going to do this again, 12 and 14. Then we got 15 on the B string. So you take the ring finger, bend it up a whole step, then hit the B string, release the bend, then the B string, lift that finger up, so you play the 12, then the B string, then take that finger and go back 1 fret to 11. Then we have, okay, 12, 14, 12. That's what I had to put in to make it work within the chord changes that are going on underneath it. It's not the way Sean plays it, of course. It's just a casino hack version of it, just so it'll fit. Okay, again. Now, same thing again. Now we go up to the 15th fret with our ring finger, and I still again use another finger to help. So 2 frets behind it and the one in the middle. I use them all. So up a whole step. So up to E, back to D, then back to this again. Okay, so that again with all this background. So there's that. You could take it up an octave if you want and work out of the B and E string if you have 22 frets. If not, you are SOL, unless you have a whammy pedal to just bring you up an extra octave, which makes it nice because you can just play it in the same place. Okay, so that's always groovy, or any kind of pitch change device that will take you up a whole step. Okay, a few more things that I was doing in this. Just learnt this from the band Lit, of course, my own worst enemy thing. But just octaves like that. I was just going in the key of E minor, but doing it from the D up to the E, so that's 5 on the D, 7 on the G, gives you an octave. And then up to 7 and 9. Okay, and I was kind of counterplaying the rhythm, which is this. There's just kind of that thing you could do, and what I was doing there was taking them from the D to the E. I do have one still out. There it is. Then C, because you're stopping on the E. Then D, which I went up to F sharp. Was just doing the E minor, so the E, F sharp, the flatted third, then I went up to the A, and it's nice to go back to the D because that's just like a, gives you more of that. It's a, you revisit the little thing, you know, it's like telling a story. You kind of have to go back and repeat some things. It's part of comedy. You go back and grab that piece again. Okay, so I use that. Then you might have heard this. I kind of like that. There I'm playing, you know, clean, but of course I was doing the distortion earlier. But that has the E minor again on the B string and playing an open E string. Same thing, so you're going 5 on the B string and the E string you'll play all the time. So just... So that's over the E minor. E minor. When you get to this note, the E minor, sorry, E minor, that's the minor, flatted third. So that's over C. Then when we go to D, we just go to there because it's, okay, it's just, okay. If you take the whole thing down from 10, 8, 7, 3, that's your D note, and then back up to the E minor. Okay, so you can skip it all the way. If you want to do the all the way up thing, there is a note to leave out. So 5, 7, 9, 11, I'm sorry, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, now we're going to 15, and then 17. Okay? So that don't work too well. Okay, so leave out the other stuff after the 12th fret. So you can keep on doing it as much as you want, but it's cool when all the distortion is there. I thought it was. And again, I was, you know, using wah stuff, which can do whatever. Okay, don't forget how cool single notes can be. Okay, the less is more thing. So there's less is more. Okay, it's kind of Frankenstein by Winter, yeah. And then you got the whole and then you get down to your spaceship. And do I got spaceship shit? If you're Scott Grove, you're gonna have spaceship shit. Let me see if this is it. That ain't it. Oh, I know where it is. Believe it or not. That that's Zarvon, so it's got to be right there. Check out Zarvon. Yeah. Okay, so I would use that, but with some distortion. But back in the days when I had to play that kind of stuff, where am I at? What bank am I on? Oh, duh. Hit a button. That ain't it. Another button. I do have some cool stuff. Yeah, here. Couple of different ones, but these are cool to use. Being, oh, that's my Eddie Van Halen, Smashing Bumpkins, fucking the dog, my Sustainiac, she's a Sustainiac, and this will be the last time I look for one of those. That's Lesbian, that's actually my Leslie simulator that I put on there. Gargle Puss, oh, this is my huge organ is what I call it. Isn't that cool? So, again, you haven't heard of all the amazing stuff this amp can do. Okay, so back to learning. About 4 minutes is all I'm going to give it, so that'll bring you up to your hour-long lesson. So those are basically what I do. Of course, the typical and of course, as the chords are changing, the whole no distortion, but the one thing you never want to play is the old that was God, what was that song it had? I just like this because I've got the sound for it. But anyway, so those are a bunch of the licks I use. Hope you enjoyed them. And again, just all you have to do is throw distortion or whatever your patch is and all your goofy effects. But those are just some of the basic, very ear-friendly things for people who will be of that age to enjoy that song. Okay? And again, nothing too far out, and just lessons for the beginners to intermediates to how to play over those 3 chords. Okay? Wasn't that a song, movie or a show, TV show back in the day? My 3 chords. That could have been cool. Mercy. instead of My Three Sons. You guys probably don't remember it. I know some people my age will remember that show. Uncle Charlie and Chip and anyway. So yeah, My Three Chords. You could do that with pretty much any country song. 3 chords and the truth is the old saying. Now it's sell out and don't wear a hat. Grow a 5 o'clock shadow and put a baseball cap on and push it brim like that and look like everybody that used to wear cowboy hats. So anyway, there's the dance followed by a bunch of crap that may or may not be useful. Don't matter, but hey, for you guys again, and Mom, my adopted family, thanks again for the free PV Falcon. Awesome stuff. It's been a long time coming to play this again. I love the guitar. So, herpy trails, kids. Talk to you soon and play loud.